So this morning we got the announcement of the 1000-Year Blood War rerun banner of the month. In this case, it is 1000-Year Blood War round 16 with Chad, Ichigo, and also Uryu. All still to this day great characters, but is the banner actually worth summoning on? Well, lucky for us, and this is the main thing to take away from this video, is that while it might be worth summoning, depending on your account, how many orbs you can gather up, you shouldn't be summoning on this banner when the banner does drop. It is going to release tomorrow morning, and of course you should be doing the free multi, why wouldn't you? But if you are thinking about spending any extra orbs onto the banner, I would recommend just to wait around 48 hours. For those that currently aren't unaware, we do have a Bankai Elishin coming out on the 27th, so literally 2 days after this banner does go live, and we'll be revealing the end of month characters. End of month is guaranteed to be a 1000-Year Blood War banner, and it's most likely going to feature finally some new RITTERS. And if you are someone that wants to summon for new 1000-Year Blood War characters, especially RITTERS, then I would recommend to save your orbs for that announcement before deciding to summon on this. Keep in mind though, when the banner does get revealed on the live stream, we won't know the full information about the characters. We'll find that out around 20 hours after that reveal. So let's say 4 days from now, we should get the full information. And only then, when we find out the characters, the fillers, then you can decide whether you want to pull for these characters or the end of month. And use that to your advantage, right? Usually a 1000-Year Blood War rerun banner happens early in the month, and we're quite fortunate that this is a pretty good bait, I will say. I mean, these are still some of the better characters in the game, especially Ichigo. So to see him return while the end of month banner is going to be out is actually quite nice to see, because you get to pull for the end of month banner, and maybe you get lucky. Well, if you do and you have some leftover orbs, well, then you can go onto this banner, because this banner will be here until the 6th. So you can even get next month's Senkamoto orbs. So I feel like the time for this banner is actually really good, and definitely use that to your advantage. With that said though, having a look at the actual banner itself, it's actually quite decent. For starters, of course, you have the 3 Concord characters, Ichigo, Chad, and Uryu. Still 3 great characters in what they do want to do. Then you have 3 Squad Zero characters who are somewhat scheduled to get a resurrection sometime soon. For those that aren't aware, the next resurrection batch, which will be happening around 3 or so weeks time, will be Ichibei, Owetsu, and also Orihime. That therefore means that this banner with Tanjiro, Kiryu, and Senjumaru will be the next 1000-Year Blood War characters to resurrect. Although we don't know when that's actually going to happen, because these resurrections happen every month when the anime is airing. Last time round 4 happened a few months after, when 1000-Year Blood War anime was re-airing. So if they are going to wait for the anime to re-air, we might get this particular banner resurrected around January. Maybe October if they do decide to do it early. But either way, these characters should be resurrecting in the next 6 or so months, to say the least. And they should end up being some good links and maybe significantly better characters. And as for the other 3, some of the rarest 1000-Year Blood War characters in the game. I know they're one of the oldest ones, that being round 4, and they can resurrect, but they have barely been in banners, and hopefully now they can start to reappear more often. And in my opinion, because these characters are here, in a way it adds more value to the banner, because again, they are some of the rare ones, but at the same time, maybe some of the more valuable ones, given the fact that they can resurrect and can become good links. Quickly breaking down the banner, starting with Kisuke, really good soul trait. The resurrection itself does make him better, but you're probably still not going to use him. Still a fun character though for any Kisuke collector out there. Yoruichi, in my opinion, is actually very solid. Once more, another very solid soul trait, one of the best in the speed attribute, makes her overall better character, and with the resurrection, she does get better range, better damage output, and remember, she is a transform character, which for some of you new players out there, maybe you've never even experienced with that, and that can make her quite fun to play around with. Yuha is mainly just a character that's relegated to Captain Guild quests, only if you have him max transcended, otherwise he's going to be a link, and he's a decent link. Senjumaru is a character you really only want to use against mind attribute of Rankas, again could resurrect sometime in the future, and that might make her overall better. Kiryu is a Nad character that you might want to use in the range Super Guild quest, otherwise you're going to take her into Senkamoto content, and Tenjo is actually quite a solid character. Only thing is really lacking compared to newer characters is damage output, and of course his damage output isn't anything super crazy, but a resurrection can potentially fix that, or at the very least, most importantly, make it more usable. But then we have the 3 main characters. Firstly, starting off with Chad. Chad is a brave battle character that serves as a team booster if you don't have access to someone like Yuhabak. He's mainly designed to go against captains and he can hold his own, but keep in mind he himself does not go through invincibility, and that's overall making him a bit less ideal when compared to some of the newer brave battle characters like Ishin, and of course also the new Yamamoto. But he makes for a good character if you are seeing any technique characters in brave battles, someone like Kuriachiki for example. Chad does make quick work of him. The best thing about Chad is that he is a human, so very rarely does anyone have killer against him, and and you could potentially use that to your advantage. As for Uryu, he is more of a cop character designed to farm super links or potions, and also droplets. His kit definitely does leave a bit more to be desired in my opinion, but given the fact that he works as a team player, boosting your character's strong attack damage by 20%, healing your team by 20% every time you move into another map, but most importantly for the context of farming super links or potions in inheritance trials, he actually does have Pierce Iron Skin. So regardless if he has killer or not, he is able to do a respect amount of damage, and he does have some good crowd control to back him up. If you have no good technique super links or farmer, then this character is great to pick up, and he definitely will be worth it because he is valuable in 3 different types of content. Again, IZ, IT, and epic raids. And then lastly, we have 1000 Year Blood War Round 16 Ichigo. Still a contender to be one of the better characters in the game, but especially in the heart attribute. What makes this character so great is how beginner friendly he is. He has 3 great strong attacks. All with melee collision, there's no technicalities about him. You press that button, it's doing a lot of damage. And the reason for that is because he has Frenzy +2, and he also does have 100% more damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment. And that allows him to always have that max damage output, and given the fact he has some extra utility effects with long stride, hit hidden enemies, and most importantly Pierce Iron Skin, you're able to make hard content like inheritance trials super trivial. Plus, again, I always like to talk about this character, his visuals are great. Having the new anime style with the yellow aura, still one of my go-to characters, one of my more favorite characters in the game, and he's worth all the hype, because he is truly one of the best characters in the entire game. Super fun to play around with, and even gets better in the arena game mode since he does pick up extra skills, such as an additional frenzy and also the +2 power-up items. So overall, it makes for a solid 1000 Year Blood War banner, I will say. You know, nothing super crazy. You can afford to skip this banner if you don't need the characters. You know, Chad, while he is good in Brave Battles, you can go without him. Uryu, while he is a great super links or farmer, you know, sometimes you can just carry your own team. Maybe this end of month might bring a new super links or character, so keep that in mind. And for Ichigo, still great. I do consider him a way better character compared to Swimsuit Rangiku, but that Rangiku has the advantage of being a farming character, so if you have her, that technically lowers the need for this character unless you just really want him. So ultimately it comes down to if you do want the characters, but again, I do like that the other characters here are somewhat soon to resurrect with 1000 Year Blood War, Tenjiro, Kiryu, and Senjumaru, and then Yuha, Yoruichi, and Kisuke. For those that aren't aware, if I didn't make it clear, this is like the first time they've returned in like over a year. These characters very rarely get thrown into banners. So hopefully that does change, but if not, this might be one of your few reliable times to potentially get some of these older, really good Link characters. Remember, because they do resurrect, they give you 200 orbs. And that's the great thing about the first multi being free too. If you walk away with any of the bottom 3, that's 200 orbs for free. Otherwise, it's 125 orbs. But at that point, if you do get a new character, it essentially pays for the second steps. So I definitely recommend most people out there do the first step. It's free after all. Second step will cost you 200 orbs. Might be worth it if you're missing the entire banner. And if you're really new to the game and you don't own any Concord character, Ichigo, Uryu, or Chad, I would recommend at least do 5 steps. They're worth it. They have good value. And personally, when the banner last came back, I did like 20 steps because I really wanted these characters and I wanted them duped out. Do I regret it now? No, definitely not. But again, I would only recommend going past step 2 after the 28th when we get the full information of the end of month banner. Again, the last thing you want to do is have no orbs for a very exciting set of characters, maybe even broken characters. It is a Bankai Live after all, so I am expecting some pretty good and exciting characters. As already mentioned, Caleb are throwing us a bone here by letting this banner be available while the end of month banner is out, so take that bone. Don't fall for the bait just yet. Give it a few days, the banner isn't going anywhere, and then you can decide for yourself if you want to summon. For me personally, I'm pretty much done with these characters. Getting dupes of Ichigo, Uryu aren't really going to add much to my account. Chad I don't have, but again I can go without. And I also have all the fillers here too. So for me, it's a very easy skip, but I can understand why a new player might want to do at least 5 steps. Go to the guarantee. Get yourself a 1000 Year Blood character if you are missing everyone here. But again, wait till the 28th. With that said though, I'm curious if anyone is going to be summoning on this banner. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.